Reversing kid-free remarks on parents. Things you may want to reconsider saying. Let's talk about some of the tired, recycled comments people throw at those who choose a kid-free life. These remarks are played out and frankly make the speaker look foolish. They reveal a lack of critical thinking. If even a little thought were applied, it would be obvious that most of these statements do not actually make sense. I say this as someone who is a part of the kid-free community and has personally had a mostly positive experience with people respecting my choice. With that being said, I have witnessed the intense backlash others receive simply for making the same decision. It is sad how often people are pressured, judged, or belittled for choosing a life that looks different from the norm. Even more mind-boggling is how many parents hold deep misconceptions about both child-free living and parenthood itself. Some genuinely believe their lifestyle is morally or intellectually superior, when in reality, they are just exposing how little they have examined their own assumptions. So let's address some of the most common remarks. Hi, I'm Joannis, and tune in for more on YouTube at La Peachy Rebel. 1. What if you regret not having kids? What if you regret having had a kid? Listen, I would much rather regret not having one than regret bringing a human being into this world. One of those regrets affects only me. The other affects an innocent life, too. You're gonna die alone. Are you a psychic? Can you give me the lottery numbers, too? I mean, may as well live life to the fullest before I die alone, right? Listen, none of us know what lies in the future. But if I do die alone, you may very well die alone, too. And hey, then we can die alone together in the same retirement home. Sarcasm aside, this argument falls apart the moment you examine it. I find it interesting how confidently some people assume their partners or children will automatically be there for them at the end of their life. There are no guarantees. Plenty of people with multiple children still end up alone in old age. Feel free to stop by a few retirement homes and find out for yourself. When it comes to feeling alone, it is incredibly common for elderly people to feel this way. Aging comes with its own realities and challenges, regardless of parental status. But now, let's cover a few other angles here. Since you are so confident that you will not die alone, who exactly are you taking with you when you die? No one. Unless, again, you are psychic and somehow know you will die in the same place at the same time as your children, you, my friend, like everyone else, are likely to die alone. We aren't taking anyone with us and dying together. Here's another one. Do you even know how or when you will die? Who said it would be before your child? Many parents tragically outlive their children. Others imagine a perfectly staged ending where loved ones surround them, holding hands as they pass peacefully. Maybe that happens for some, but even in the best case scenario, you are leaving this world alone. Everyone else's life continues. And while we are on the topic of predicting the future, have you somehow seen that you will maintain a healthy, close relationship with your child through every phase of both of your lives? Which brings us to the next one. 3. Children do not guarantee lifelong connection. Having a strong relationship during a child's younger years does not guarantee a healthy or close relationship in adulthood. Life happens. Mental illness, trauma, addictions, personality changes, or simply an adult child's perception can radically alter a relationship. There are countless real cases where parents did their absolute best, only for their adult child to later resent how they were raised. Some become distant, others cut contact entirely. This is not uncommon. I personally know a mother who lived across the street from her son. and still had not spoken to them for over 30 years, and it pained her. She died a few years ago with that heartbreak. The estrangement began simply because she urged her young adult child to stop using drugs and take better care of their own child. They thought she needed to mind her own business, and boy did they make sure she did by cutting her off and becoming estranged, all while living across the street. Children may grow closer to their partner's family. They may move across the world and only be able to fly in for a funeral. Happened to a few people I know that were in the military or had overseas jobs and had to fly in unexpectedly for their parent's funeral, meaning their parent died alone without that kid being there. Death is unpredictable. Again, none of this guarantees you will not die alone. And let's be clear about something important. Alone is not the same as lonely. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely, even by family. Many elderly people with children report feeling lonely due to ageism, social exclusion, or declining abilities. Having kids does not shield anyone from that reality. The truth is that none of us know what our future holds. Life and death are both unpredictable. We can hope for the best and should, but certainty does not exist. So be careful about speaking from a place of pride and superiority. You may end up in the very situation you thought you were immune to. And who knows, you may die alone, or I might be surrounded by chosen family and or friends that became family. Either way, you get the point. Next one. 4. You are selfish. I don't know why people even think it makes sense to say something like this. Oh, gosh. You reveal so much about yourself. Selfish for intentionally choosing not to create a human life. Being deeply considerate about the responsibility of raising a fragile, lifelong human being is the opposite of selfish. The world is not lacking people. Humanity is not on the brink of extinction because some of us opt out of parenthood. Quite frankly, we have far bigger issues to address with the people who already exist in this world. If anything, one could argue it is selfish to have a child you did not plan for because you had a little too much raw fun, or simply because you want one, or because you expect them to mirror you or be your mini-me, carry your legacy. Me, and what I want, my this, my that. I mean, did you even ask them for permission to exist? How selfish of you to force a human life into a world they may not even want to be a part of. Yes, I'm being sarcastic, but jokes aside, actually, I believe there is some sort of belief about that. There's a term for it. I can't think of it. I decided to insert this term during editing. It is called antinatalism. The belief that people should not have children because it is impossible to obtain consent from the child. Bringing a person into existence imposes a significant lifelong and non-consensual burden upon them. Since a non-existent person cannot consent to being born, this argument asserts that procreation is a violation of the potential person's autonomy. So who's selfish now? But anyways, children are autonomous individuals who will form their own identities, values, and paths, whether or not those align with your expectations. Now imagine how unselfish it would be if more people prioritized and invested in their own well-being before bringing another human into the world. Therapy, mental health support, self-enrichment, education, travel, learning essential life skills such as communication, listening, financial literacy, conflict resolution, emotional regulation, anger management, nutrition, healthy human relations to include culture, diversity, and anti-racism. Imagine people taking the time to understand male and female anatomy, the psychology of life stages, and what each phase of life actually demands of a partner or a child or a family. Imagine how much healthier society could be if more people focused on becoming informed, self-aware, and emotionally equipped before making irreversible, life-altering decisions. I mean, that kind of investment would not only create better individuals, but also better partners, and for those who do choose parenthood, better parents. Imagine children growing up in more stable homes with healthier family dynamics and more fulfilling experiences. And for the record, I intentionally took all of those classes and trainings I mentioned, and then some, in my 20s. That level of education, combined with extensive life exposure and observation, is exactly what led me to choose a kid-free life. Now, I am quite confident that many parents never intentionally sought to improve themselves by taking such classes or training with the intention of generally being a better human and or partner and or parent. So with that being said, who is really being selfish? So before offering unsolicited comments or recycled insults to someone who chooses to be kid-free, pause and ask yourself whether what you are saying actually makes sense. At the end of the day, choosing a kid-free life is not an attack on parents, nor is parenthood a badge of moral or intellectual superiority. They are simply different paths. What deserves respect is intention, self-awareness, and honesty about what kind of life one is truly equipped to live. If we spent less time policing other people's choices and more time examining our own assumptions, we would all be better off. Respect is not hard, it just requires thought. So let's stop mindlessly repeating what older generations said just because it feels familiar. And maybe, finally, we can retire these ignorant and outdated comments. A fulfilled life comes in many forms. The sooner we accept that, the sooner we can stop having these tired conversations altogether.